Ahoy shipmates, here we go for the final part of our first pleasure cruise down the water, and you can see that this is a much different day. It's been wet and breezy up here today, and the game is very much going along those lines. There's a much bigger swell than what there was yesterday. So where are we? Excuse me. Well, there we go. We are at that waypoint there. We're facing into the wind, and the wind has gone sort of southwesterly, which could prove a problem for the remainder of this trip. And we are heading down to the Ailsa Craig. So we've come from up there, just at the north of Arran, down between Arran and the Kintyre Peninsula, and we have finished there. So this is going to be the last part of the trip. As a guesstimate yesterday, I thought it would be just round about 2 hours. It might be slightly longer because of the wind direction, but you can see it's cloudy. I don't see any rain falling in this game. I don't know whether it does rain, but certainly it is not a nice day outside, bearing in mind that this is barely, what, 25 miles from where I live. It's pretty much a good representation of what kind of day it is. You can see there's a much bigger swell down here today. So without further ado, we will get the sails up. Now, we're facing the wrong direction, of course. We're facing into the wind, and we need to get that adjusted so we can follow our track down to the final waypoint. And let's see how many people are here. Get rid of that one. We want this one. Right. So we need to get onto the boat, get into the driver's seat, if that's what you want to call it. Get ourselves steered round. Now you can see on the map the wind is going up that way. You can see the little white streaks, they're going that direction. That way, that's better. That's the way the wind is going, and I'm heading that way, so that's going to be a problem. Now again, for anybody who's just stumbled across this, I have got the game in about 3 days. Everything is on autopilot apart from me steering the boat, because I'm brand new to this. We will learn all the ropes, as the saying goes, at some point later. So we need to keep turning. Now we've caught some wind. About more or less it. We'll leave it at that for the time being. Right, let's get zoomed out. Yeah, there's like a 10-foot swell, which I said yesterday is what I would have expected by the time we got to the south of Arran. By the time we got there, we're in more open waters. We're out of the shelter of the Kintyre Peninsula. So now we're a bit more exposed, because although we've got island there, you've got no shelter running across there, and you can see those winds going across.
And I would imagine as well that our final destination is going to probably take a little bit longer to actually appear in the horizon because of the visibility today is probably a lot more reduced. Now over that way, the mainland, it still looks a lot more rainy than what it does out here. The actual weather front might be moving through, because yesterday I said that there was a weather front in the forecast, and it was coming through this way or going that way, sort of the normal way it normally goes. And it's been raining this morning, and the forecast is it's to move through, so we might actually be on the backside of the weather front now, which is probably, I say, it looks a bit more wetter over that way than it does over this way. Right. Bigger swell. Now if this was actually out in the Atlantic, it'd be a lot worse than this, no doubt. Let's zoom in. Yeah, we're pretty much on a suitable line for where we want to go. Now let's have a check at the time. Well, it's actually saying an hour and 25 minutes, which is actually better than I thought, because the wind isn't against us, it's coming across us again, so we're getting the use of some of it, and we're actually going along. Well, it's actually pretty good. We're doing over 8 knots, so the wind is stronger today. Let's just make a minor adjustment again. For a little while. Yeah, what I'm going to do after it, initially what my idea was is just to do a pleasure cruise down the water. That was my initial idea. So we've made the first 2 parts of the video. This is the 3rd part. Now after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and do the challenges, and I'll just show you what they are if you haven't seen any of the first parts of the video. But we'll go sorry, activities, and then there's challenges, and we're going to do the first trip, and then we'll learn about tacking and all of that stuff. I'm going to go through all of those because I'm determined to actually get the hang of the manual setup of the boats. Again, just to reiterate, I have not got the first clue really about sailing, about all these ropes and all the different sheets that you have to put up, and we will hopefully pick it up as we go along. That's what I intend to do. So I'm going to do all of that stuff and make the most of it, and then my objective is to try some of the online races, and there's plenty of those to be had, and we'll see how competitive we are. Right, so we'll resume. I've made the map larger just to see that the wind direction, and I've no doubt the bigger the arrows, the more powerful the wind is. We'll zoom it back out. So let's check, and we've looked at the time to go. Make that bigger again because it gets too small to read the text. Right, so there's the time to go to the next waypoint, and the distance is 11 miles we've still to go. So again, looking at the map, the final waypoint is there, just right off the which I presume is the lighthouse. I think there's a little pier down there, or a little dock. Not that we'll be able to use it, but that is where we intend to go to now. Looking at the depth of the water, there's plenty of water there, so we can finish and we can actually anchor the boat just right down the cliffs of the Ailsa Craig, which is what we're actually looking for on the horizon. So we're 11 miles from it, and I have to say, even at 11 miles, in a good clear day, you would spot the Ailsa Craig no problem at all. But visibility yesterday wasn't that great, and it certainly is a lot worse today than what it was yesterday. But there is no sign of it at all out there. Now, I wouldn't say the sea is rough, it's just actually quite a big swell. But it's certainly about a 8 to 10 foot swell that we've got. And over there in the distance is the south side of Arran. That's what we can see just breaking through the mist, and pretty much invisible now, although you can barely see it, is the Kintyre Peninsula over behind us that direction. And what we're focusing on, is seeing something directly ahead of us that looks like a big rock in the middle of the sea, because the Ailsa Craig is a big rock in the middle of the sea. And there's a lot of chat coming through, I notice. Well, that's telling us that we're facing into the wind, so we don't need to bother with that, we know that. So there are quite a few sailors out there. So this is going to be shorter than I thought. I mean, that's probably taken into consideration that it's a windier day today, and we're going slightly faster. This is probably about the fastest we've been. It's now dropped slightly, I think, because I've changed the line that the boat was taking. I've actually adjusted it slightly again. We're cutting across our path just to get online, just to track online. That shows you the direction we're headed. That shows you the line that we should be taking to get to the final destination, but we're neither here nor there. We're not far from it, and all the while we're looking for the first signs of where we're going to. I still can't see anything, but it will eventually loom on the horizon, and it's still telling us we've got 11 miles to go. One hour and 20. Shrink down the chat. Now if I go onto the boat and sit that way, you'll be able to see just how big the swell is. And we're going over the crest of these, and they're cutting across our bow. But it's still not a bad day, apart from the fact that it's cloudy and damp. It's not a bad day for sailing, there's a good breeze. There's a better idea of the size of the swell. You can see the big crest it is. It's got to be about 15-foot swell. And it's still telling us 11 miles, although the clock's going down. That's weird. The distance to waypoint is that one, and time to get to the waypoint is 1 hour and 17. So this mileage isn't dropping down very quickly. Yet we're doing, what are we doing now? Is that 6 knots or 8 knots? Let's look, we're doing over 8 knots. So we're going at a fair lick. And we're trying to get as high as we can to the horizon to see if we can see anything. Now there's only a couple of things I know about the Isles of Craig. The one thing that is that it's, as far as I'm still aware, it's still a bird sanctuary. It probably got gannets and everything on it that roost on there. And the other bit of useless information that I've got is that they used to make, they used to have a quarry on the Isles of Craig where they got the granite, which they made a lot of the curling stones from. I mean, needless to say, that's all dead and gone. But that's what they used to do. They used to actually cut the granite and then make curling stones. But that's all changed. Yeah, it looks as if it, I mean, again, it might be my imagination, but it's still cloudier and darker over there. It's a bit brighter, mind you, this is where the sun is, but it is a wee bit brighter on that direction. Although it's cloudy again over that way, so we look as if we're heading in a good direction. There's the waypoint we left. Now we're down to 10 miles. So we've gone a mile. And I'm desperately looking at the horizon and I still don't see anything. So visibility is less than 10 miles. Now yesterday what I said there was the fact that if we're going by the fact that this game is using real world data in terms of what the weather is and such, and the sea state and the winds and all of the other things that combine, then the actual visibility that we have in this game is either determined by two factors: the fact that it is going by real world data and the fact that the visibility looks to be less than 10 miles, or it could be the draw distance in the game isn't that great. So it's either or, and it's difficult to make my mind up about that yet. Because as I say, I've got everything on full. Graphics are as good as I can get them for the state the game is in at the present time, being that it's only in early access. So dead ahead virtually is where we're looking to see this big rock. The other name for the Isles of Craig, or the local name, is Paddy's Milestone, which is what, well, certainly what I was told that it was called at one time. But of course it's a very photogenic island in the middle of the Firth of Clyde because of the amount of times it's been seen on the open golf when it's been on. Whenever they've been at Turnberry or Troon, you can always see the Isles of Craig in good weather. So I think most people would identify it. So that's where we're headed. That's our intention. And we're still tacking along at over 7 knots, over 8 now. And we're now showing exactly 10 miles, so that's going to drop probably to 9.9. It'll go down in 10 increments for each mile now. And what I managed to do there, to start at that waypoint, you just, once you get to a waypoint, you've got a couple of choices what you can do in this game. You can weigh anchor and just do what I did, in which case the boat will face into the wind and drop the sails, and the boat will remain there. I also mentioned that there doesn't seem to be any way to save the game. The game saves automatically from wherever you leave your boat. And the second choice you have, and so that when you restart the game starts at the last waypoint I was at, which was up there. And the other thing you can do is you can get the boat just to auto sail like it is at the moment, and to leave it sailing. And if you set the boat on a long trip, the boat will tack along those lines that you set on autopilot, and it will continue to sail in real time. So this is where you could theoretically sail around the world, and it would take you months to do it. And the times that you're not online, you will get emails coming through, provided you've registered your account with Sailaway's website, which I've done, and those emails will update you the position of your boat, which is quite good. So there's a potential here for a lot of features to be coming into this game, and I would suggest that most of those features are going to come from people who are from the sailing community, and I'm not one of them. I mentioned yesterday in the video that the one thing that's lacking in the game is actual ports. There's nowhere to dock your boat in a harbour. You can't do that. You can only go from waypoints to waypoints yet, but hopefully that is something that may well be added. Okay, they could add thousands of ports around the world, but certainly it'd be nice to think they could add some at least important ones, you know, major ones around the world, you would imagine would be a good way to start. And then if modders and everything got involved in it, if they allow modding capabilities in the game, once the modders get a hold of it, they could certainly bring a lot of stuff to it, because that's what keeps a lot of games going nowadays. Oh, I never noticed anybody was watching the stream there. No, the wind's fine. This is the fastest I've ever gone. I've been doing about 8 knots. But let's check the mileage. We've got 9.5 miles to go, and we still can't see anything. We cannot see our destination yet. So that, again, simple arithmetic means that the actual view to the horizon is less than 9.5 miles. So other than that, everything's hidden in the mist. And if you look at my cursor, which will just hover over the sail, you'll see the little egg timer kicks in every few seconds, as this game seems to be getting updated from the server each time. And that's probably the GPS thing that's doing that, I would imagine. Yeah, we're doing 8.7 knots now, so we're flying along. That's the fastest I've ever gone. looking at it, we're not far to go, but that's still over 9 miles. Winds are going that direction, the little white arrows, which is a south-southwesterly wind. That's the sort of prevailing wind that we get up here. Well, prevailing wind for most of the UK is usually south-southwesterly. That's where all the weather fronts come in. So Kintyre has virtually disappeared. There's what's left of Arran behind us. And somewhere out there is the Ailsa Craig. And it's yet to make a show. Looking hard and I can't see it. Let me go down to the boat, see if we can get to the front of the boat. I'm not going to see much here other than waves. No, that's no use. The higher up the better. Winds drop down again. Right, when you zoom in, you can see that we're way off the mark here, so we're going to have to make an adjustment. And that's now us using more of the wind, so we're now doing over 10 knots just to get us back online. Get back up to the back end there. So mileage is miles to go to the waypoint is just 8.8, and we're talking about 55 minutes. So visibility is less than 9 miles. Nothing doing. this. Quite a few guys are coming up with their opinions of you know, things like, there's a guy there saying he would like to see landmarks. I mean, that's the thing, the landscape is obviously generated from some sort of Google Earth source, something like it or something very similar to it. So land masses and everything are there, they're just generated automatically, which is why there's this constant update during the progress of the game or your trip. You see the little egg timer each time. Yeah, it'd be nice if they added various things. No doubt that there's quite a few people have been giving feedback on their forum about what they think should be in it and ways to improve it and stuff, but you know, it's only early access. We just want to make sure it runs smooth. I think we'll turn more, as was suggested earlier on the stream, if I can get to the bloody tiller, we'll turn more, go that way. That'll get us back to the line we should be following, then we'll need to square up. Of course, now that we're going that way, the Ailsa Craig should be down to our right somewhere. We're heading across the path that we should be taking. The Ailsa Craig should be down there. Right, that's us at the top of the mast. That's as high as we can go. And we've got just over 8 miles to go. And visibility is still so bad that we can't see it. Now the path we are taking means that the Ailsa Craig should be down that way somewhere. Now we must be crossing that line, we are crossing it, so we need to then get down quick and get the adjustment done. Oh, I need to zoom in before we go too far. We're cutting across it too much now. Now that's slowed the boat down because we're now not getting the best use of the wind, but it keeps our line pretty much parallel with where we should be going anyway, so I'm happy with that. That'll do. It might take a bit longer now to get there. So now we're more on a trajectory of where we should be going, so we're now 8 miles. Now on a good clear day, if it was a clear blue day, visibility can be like probably between 30 and 50 mile. That's as high as we can go, and still nothing. But like I say, it's difficult to understand that that's the draw distance in the game, or it's actually the weather effect. It's hard to discern that yet. I'm putting it down more to the weather than being the draw distance. Now, no, actually, I thought we'd slowed down. We've actually picked up pace again. We're running between 8 and 8.5 knots. Now I hope that when we sight this thing, it doesn't just suddenly materialise like a blob on the horizon. You'd hope it would gradually appear. You know, maybe the way that it draws. Again, with this refresh rate thing, this thing that it's doing each time, that would suggest that that might happen. That suddenly there's nothing there, and then suddenly blob. There's a big rock stuck right in front of you, just appears. Because there's nothing there at the moment. And I'm going to adjust that again. Get it the right way. .7 miles to go. That's definitely slowed us down a bit. Nothing to be seen. Don't think we'll see much sunshine today. Far too much heavy cloud. Maybe later on in the day though, once the weather front moves through. There's a fair few guys chatting. Shut that tip thing down. Guys talked about having sextants in the game. A guy there says he's sailed for 11 days and he hasn't seen anybody yet. Yeah, but you can see boats on the world map. Boats are there, but they're very difficult to find. So we've been sailing 40 minutes in this final leg, and just 7.4 miles to go, 55 minutes worth of sailing to be done, and still no sign of our destination. 7 knots. I'm going to adjust the boat again. I'm going to make that turn. And that's brought the speed up to 8.5 now. Oh, now wait a minute. There's a boat. There's a boat right in front of me. Where the hell's he from? Well, it's not updating his information. Usually when you hover over it, it gives you an update, but there he's anchored. There's a guy. Well, there's something you don't see every day. There's a guy just anchored there, so he's actually probably away getting his lunch. He's probably in the galley, but it isn't updating. Oh, he's got the sails up now. Is he gonna follow me down? No. There he is. I think he's maybe going to follow me. There he is. He started. He's turning round. Well, this could be an exciting finish. Just a pity I don't have a horn on board. Give him a toot. Shit, that message went to... Ah, wait a minute, it's Jabintra. That was him yesterday that was sailing down to South Africa, was it not? What do you think you want? Now that's what you can do in the game. You can actually just spawn your boat next to somebody on the world map. Now I've actually left them behind. I need to keep an eye on my track here. And with all that excitement, I've seen another boat. He's probably going to disappear in a minute or two. He'll probably go and spawn somewhere else. But there he goes into the distance. Meanwhile, let's just... I think the winds get up there. Now... I still don't see any... See that sort of shadow there? That there is difficult to see whether it's landscape or not, but it's certainly not the Ailsa Craig. we're leaving him well behind. I don't think he's sure about where I'm going to. I've told him where I'm going. And I don't see him now. Well, he's very quickly disappeared. Although we can see him there, he's coming behind me, but I don't see him behind me at all now. He's disappeared very quickly. There's where we're headed. It still looks an awful long way away because we're zoomed in. Let's zoom out. Need to zoom in again. Make sure we keep the right line. We're cutting towards that waypoint line. He's keeping his distance behind us, so he's somewhere back there, but he's already gone. Can't see him, and that's probably half a mile away. Visibility can't be that bad, or it could be the draw distance is not great. Hard to, still trying to fathom that one out yet, because we are just approaching 6 miles, 6.2 miles. We still can't see jack shit. So he is on the chat with me because he's within 20 miles of me, that one there. All the other people are all chatting, and that one, that's the all users online, but this one is just between me and him. Presumably he's looked at the map to see where I'm headed now, and he's worked out where I'm going. Oh, he'd need to catch me first to sink me. But yeah, you can't see a sail. I mean, I only actually saw his sail by the time he was like 100 yards from me. That was the only that was the first time I spotted him. Just sort of come out of the mist. And all of a sudden he was there, because obviously he had just spawned in front of me. And we're going about 8 knots. Need the mini to keep up with you. No, he's trying to keep along with me. That's him there. So still, the server, they said yesterday the server was playing up. When you hover over the boat like that, that little box that's popped up should tell me who he is. Well, I know who he is, but it should also tell me the name of his boat, but it's not doing it today, so they're obviously working on something, or something isn't quite working, something's broken. Yeah, he's not as good at sailing an autopilot as I am. Now we are getting to the crossover point. Down to the seat again. trying to keep it on this bloody line. That's probably as good as I can get it. Well, that was a bit of excitement for me, actually spotting another boat next to me. It's the only excitement I've had on this trip. So he's back there somewhere, and I'm lopsidedly looking to try and see him, but got no chance of seeing him. He's there somewhere, if unless he's spawned somewhere else now. Let's zoom out. Yeah, he's gone. He's spawned his boat somewhere else. He very quickly get bored. And we have 5.5 miles to go. 46 minutes it's telling us it's going to take us. Right, what we haven't done is, we need to have another look. And still nothing. 5.5 miles. And there is nothing there yet. Yeah, there definitely is something up with the servers, because the info isn't updating on boats in the map. At least it wasn't for that guy. Doing 10.5 knots. That seems to be the optimum line that we're taking here to get the full use of what's behind us. 5.3 miles to go, half an hour. It's saying that's obviously come down because we've picked up speed again. Just changed our line again and dropped, so that has gone up to 36 minutes. Another desperate look to the horizon. Let's zoom out. Oh, wait a minute, he's now spawned. There he is. Salty Sea Dog, he spawned in front of us again. Aye, that's the guy. He's been on every day I've been on. So he's now just off. Now is that our port side or our starboard side? I haven't a clue. But he's there. He's somewhere there. Again. Directly in front of us. So he should just be appearing. The Salty Sea Dog. So it's updated this time. So he's probably a quarter of a mile away from us and we can't see him. So that gives you an idea how quickly the Ailsa Craig's going to pop out of the horizon. That's him there. Where the hell is he? I'm looking for him, I still can't see him. He should be over here. All of a sudden. Yeah. Teleported 1.4 miles southeast of you. Oh, so he's a bit further away than that. Oh, there he is. There he is. There's his sail. You can see him now. I wish I could type. Well, I saw him, but he's now disappeared again. Where the hell's he gone? I could see he sailed 2 minutes ago, now it's disappeared. Where the hell is he? He's got to be right on top of us. No. No, he's gone again. He's respawned somewhere else, I think. And we can see that the final destination is rapidly approaching. It's only... Oh, there he is. There he is now. There he's there. You can see the way his boat's jerking about with this refresh that's going on. That looks ugly. His boat's jerking about in the water. And I've gone past him again. Meanwhile, the Ailsa Craig is there and we still can't see the damn thing. 4.5 miles away. We're leaving him in our wake. Oh, there it is now. There's the Ailsa Craig now. Finally appeared in the horizon. I wish I was looking. I bet you it just suddenly materialised. I'm pretty certain that this is certainly, it certainly sticks out the water about 300 feet. I can't remember, I'd need to go and look at the Google Earth, but it's certainly, I mean, it's a big towering rock when you're up close to it. So it's finally materialised out the horizon, and its visibility is just over 4 miles then, before the thing starts appearing. Meanwhile, there he is, I can still see him chasing after me. You can see it's updating. Ailsa Craig's actually shrank away again there, you notice that? Actually a second ago there was more shape to it. Now there's nothing there to pick out hardly. Notice that there it's sort of shrunk down again. So that's just over an hour that we've been going. Another half an hour it's saying we should be till we get there. Yeah, it's now looking, there was a flicker on the screen there as it was updating again. And now he's disappeared. Unless he's respawned somewhere else again. Oh, I see him now. I see him better when I zoom in, but I cannot see his sail. No, he's disappeared. And I'm going to make a little change again. Give us a bit more speed, I think. We've gone up to 8 knots, so just knocking on the door of it. 4 miles to go, 29 minutes. It's saying. Can't see him. There we go. That's Ailsa Craig. That is a sort of little landing area. I think that's, I presume that signifies a lighthouse, but I'm pretty certain, I know you can see a lighthouse on it, an old lighthouse from the coast. You can definitely see it in a good day. I'm assuming that's what that signifies. I don't know. I think we're doing about 9 knots now. We must be heading away from him. No, he's still tagging along. He's out there. He's out there behind me somewhere. Can't see him. And we're in 180 feet of water, plenty of water. Right, Yeah, and in actual real terms, sick, we've only travelled about, I would guess, probably maximum 30 miles we've actually travelled, in terms of where we started at the top of Arran down to that first waypoint and then down to here. It's about 30 miles, it's not much more. But we're actually going to be dropping anchor fairly close to the shore, so we'll see how much detail there is on this Ailsa Craig when we get to it. I mean, for example, I don't know whether, I mean, there will be a lighthouse there. Well, I like the way you say it's too samey. Of course it's samey, there's nothing but water in it. Well, not yet there isn't, because it's early access. Give them a chance. They've got lots of feedback telling them what folk want in the game, so hopefully they'll listen. And if they don't listen, it'll fucking die a death. I mean, this is a, as far as I'm concerned, this is a world famous landmark we're coming to. Come on guys, give me some credit here. At least you're seeing a bit of Scotland. Admittedly most of it's water, but I've pointed out some notable land masses round about us, and then this is the important one we're heading to. And we are 3.5 miles away from it. 25 minutes more sailing. And he's still behind me there. There he is. Salty Sea Dog is still there somewhere. But he's struggling for some reason to keep up with me. I don't know why. I mean, unless he's a worse numpty than I am. And I'm going along at 8.3 knots. It's not really looking that much nicer, is it? The swell's still the same, it hasn't changed, it's still about 10 to 15 feet. Notice how the boat goes out of focus when you go down low like that. Maybe it's because we've got this chat stuff up. I'm going to change again, do a slight turn again here. For those of you who might be interested, I went sailing for the first time on a sloop. What the hell's a sloop? Oh, he's talking about probably a boat in real life, aye. Not a boat that's in the game. Well, what's beneath us if you dive is probably plenty of herring and stuff like that. What's that there? There he's material. There he's spawned ahead of me again, the bastard. He's trying to get there before me. We're doing 10 knots. We're just under it now. 3 miles to go. The waves are breaking over the bow. let's zoom out. There's the Ailsa Craig. Now where did he go again? Now he's behind us again. There he's there. That's him. Bobbing about there like a cork. Under 3 miles to go, 23 minutes. You know something? It's masochism, but I'll get 4 people watching it. So there's another 4 masochists watching this along with me. Now. Oh, he's chasing me now. How's my trajectory doing? Well, we're holding our line pretty much now. Now we're in much more open seas down here now. Yeah, I think the swell's getting a bit bigger. I would definitely say it's getting bigger. Yeah, we're bobbing more like a cork now. Because we're now in the open part of the Firth of Clyde. There's no mullock and tire there to protect us now, so everything that comes in is coming in between Ireland and us. So it's definitely, these are definitely bigger waves. Yeah. Look at the height of them in comparison to the boat. And now we're dipping down the side here. Yeah, noticeably different. Is he respawning again somewhere? Oh no, he's still there, there he is. Yeah, the water's now, you heard the crunch of the water there. Yeah, you've got white horses now on these waves. So the sea state is changing. We've got 2.5 miles to go. And Ailsa Craig's taking a much more of a realistic shape now. Go on, admit it, you just want to see what it's like at the end of the trip, don't you? You just want to see how close I get to the rock without running aground. Let's have a look at the water depths here. See, 147 feet. Yeah, there's 47 feet of water off the coast there, so that's still more than enough to take the boat, no problem. I'm going to have to make that little turn again. Hang on. Now when we get to that final waypoint, which is there, that will go gold, and then we'll get a system message telling us we've reached the destination. So I'm offline again here. And how long have we been going? An hour and a quarter, an hour and 17. See if we can see him from the back of the boat. Oh, there he is. There he is there. Can't miss him. He'll probably... Well, I'm doing 10.5 knots, so he's going to have to be doing that now with the wind to keep up. 2.2 miles to go. 13 minutes it's saying. There she is. Yeah, we're pretty much looking as if we're in a perfect line just to come up in the lighthouse on the right hand side. Miles to go. And we've slowed down a bit now that we've changed direction. Who's Andrew Campbell? That's definitely a Scottish name. Right, let's get an external view. There we are. He's catching us up because I've been tacking a wee bit left and right. That looks good. We've got 1.7 miles to go. Let's see how it looks now. Well, it's certainly getting bigger. How's our buddy doing? Well, we're leaving him behind again. And now it looks as if we're heading directly for the rock itself. Now if we look at the actual waypoint line, we are going to be very, very close but the depth of the water's 70 odd feet at the marker that we're going through, so we should still be okay. And we'll get a system message. Let's get ready for it. Well, that's telling us about because I hit one of the ropes. And it tells me he teleported that last time to 0.2 miles east of us. Right, can we still see him now? I can just barely see him. One and a half miles to go. 13 minutes it's saying, but I reckon now you see how big this Ailsa Craig looks from the actual sea level. It's a lot bigger than you think. And we've drifted again. Get it on that gold line or that hatch line. That's about right. 1.3 miles away. 9 minutes it's saying. And he's up there. I can just see him. Yeah, the sea's definitely got a bit, I wouldn't say choppier, but the swells get bigger since we get hit more open water. Now that looks like the lighthouse there. See that sort of, I'll just use the marker, that little, there's a little white blob there, just there, and that's the lighthouse, and that's where we're going to drop anchor. 1.1 mile to go. 7 minutes. And up here will be a pop-up. The system message will pop up. 50 users online. That's a fair amount. We're online. Although we're aiming that direction, that hatch line is showing us the line that we need to follow to make that waypoint, and we're actually holding to that pretty good. There's the waypoint there, just within the radius of the lighthouse. Why do you want all this combat? It's sailing. It's meant to be a gentle pleasure. Why do you want cannons and flares and firing guns at people? You need to go to that, what is it, warship game. It needs more action. And he's still on our tail. This is like star skating. Well, mind you, you need to be old enough to remember. It's like star skating hutch and boats. It's like a boat chase. Now where he is now, I can't see him. He's disappeared. But he is there. There he is. The white horses are out. Oh, there we go. A wave crashing over the bow. And you can see that some of the Ailsa Craig is still shrouded in mist the way it's drawn, but that's going to go dark as we get close. We are less than a mile away, 0.82 of a mile, 5 minutes to go. We haven't had the system message, of course, because we haven't hit the waypoint yet, but we're going to be right down next to it. Now it looks all jaggedy there. I would expect that to smooth off as it draws better as we get close to it. You can see it sort of silhouetted itself, and it's because of this refresh thing that the server's doing. Because that Ailsa Craig is obviously part of the GPS on the map. So every time the boat moves, that has to move in relation to the boat to actually draw it properly. Which makes it look a bit ugly as it is from here, because it's not as jagged as that. It's a lot more smoother, and it's got grass on top. You can see it's changing shape all the time. And you might find that when we get to the leeward side of the Ailsa Craig that the waves go down a bit. And it looks as if it is. The swell seems to be smoothing off a wee bit, because we're heading down the leeward side of it, and all the prevailing weather is going that way. You can see it's misty, and we've got half a mile to go. I think we'll make a little minor adjustment here. That'll do it. I don't think we'll touch that again. How am I moving so fast? He's asking me how I'm doing about 9 knots. I'm doing 7. Right, anyway. Where the hell are we? I need to get rid of the cursing thing, that's for sure. Right. There's the Ailsa Craig now, and I have to say that that's pretty ugly looking, because it doesn't look like that. There's none of these great. See how the shape changed there? It's very sort of pixelated. The shape's changing as we get nearer it, and you would expect it to smooth right out, because it basically looks a lot smoother than that. I mean, there are cliffs on it at one side. So there's the lighthouse there. I'm try to talk to this guy and look at the stream as well. That's a bit worrying, isn't it? Seeing that land sticking out there, even though it tells you the water's so deep. Now look for the system message coming up. I think I'll just turn the boat slightly. Like that. That's about it. Yeah, I have to say that it isn't actually drawn very well, but we are almost there. In fact, we are there. There we go. You have completed your voyage from Skipness, United Kingdom. Let's have a look. To Lendlefoot. So I am going to drop anchor. And we'll turn into the wind. And where is he? There he's there. So I'll wait till he catches up. So we've dropped anchor off the Ailsa Craig. I mean, that's okay. It's not about land, but I am not impressed by the way that's represented in it. That is pretty damn ugly, and it is a lot nicer looking than that. There's no proper definition in it at all, which is a bit sad, and I think that's one of the things that a lot of folk have complained about. Right, he's probably, oh, there he's there. Not sure why you get so much more speed than me, usually doing circles round folks. Oh well, maybe you make your match today, buddy. Right, well, that is, let's just do a quick recap before we call it quits. Right. I started this trip just in the northern tip of Arran, and on the first video we sailed from there down to that point, and then in the second trip, second part, we went, oh there he is, he's crashing right into us. Oh, he's finally weighed anchor as well. And we went to the second marker down there, and then today we've completed our journey going from there down to there, and when you weigh anchor, the boat points itself into the wind direction and puts the sails down. So that's the Ailsa Craig Lighthouse. Not very impressive, I say, when you look at it in this game, but in real life it's a lot more impressive than that. That just looks like a scar. It looks like a wart. So it does. Not very good, but hopefully they might improve the graphic quality. But I think the other problem is they're probably trying to make this game to be suitable for... Well, there he's asking how I got my paint job. I'll tell him 16 as you told me. Now wait a minute. Right, so I'm going to bid this guy good day. Right, okay folks, with that we will say goodbye, and thanks for those that were watching. I don't know whether I would say I hope you enjoyed it, but at least we had company on the way for some of the trip. And as I say, there won't be any more videos for the foreseeable future in this game, because I'm going to go away and do the activities and see if I can learn how to actually sail the damn thing. And then we might do something a bit more adventurous in the future. Until then, have a nice day, and we'll see you again.